Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today I've got a 2 vs 2 on Panria Lowlands. Playing as Chaos, we've got Phoenix and his teammate Demi as the Sisters of Battle. On the opposing side, we have got Stranger as the Dark Eldar, and his comrade in arms, playing as the Inquisitorial Demon Hunters, we have got Blue Man 52. So on Panria Lowlands, it's not a map that you see very often, as it's very unsymmetrical. And generally unsymmetrical maps don't tend to get as much love compared to their symmetrical counterparts. You've got these guys on the lowlands, got these guys on the highlands, and much like in Star Wars where Obi-Wan had the highland and Anakin had the lowland, these guys down here have a little bit of a disadvantage in the sense that, if you notice that, if there's any dudes and dudettes standing around here, they've got all this space to fire into, whereas realistically, to get that same kind of firing position over on this side, you'd have to kind of like stand here, but it's like narrower, and you're going to get past a listing post, and it's just absolute chaos and mischief. Also down here as well, got a relic, and it's been protected by this strategic point over here. Whereas on the northern side, we've got a relic which is not as defensible from the strategic point due to this long, narrow corridor that one has to walk down. But yeah, Dark Eldar versus Dark Eldar and Demon Inquisitor doodads. They're quite useful as a wombo combo team, as the Dark Eldar like to pester people in the early game, while the Demon Hunters get round to building up their fighting forces. Dear oh dear, these Battle Sisters walking into some mines by the looks of things. It's not what you want first thing in a match. Dark Eldar Warrior is going to use the advantage up above to start smiting this missionary, but he's going to lay some hands upon himself. Battle Sisters being chased around by the Mandrakes, and these guys will not be very kind to them in close combat, it has to be said. Going to get a couple of them quite low health at the moment, but managing to keep themselves alive for the moment before then not being alive. It's a very sad time for that young lady right there. Double Warrior's going to come over onto this side. These guys have got a lot of DPS in the old range department. So yeah, so the Sisters and the Missionary, cornered really, nowhere for them to roll. And even then, they're still standing, they're still doing what they can. Over yonder, we do have got, what have we got over here? We have got some elite stormtroopers making quick work of this listing post. Well, when I say quick work, I mean not entirely quick work, but, you know, it's aesthetically pleasing. Listing post going to get its upgrade tier 2, so we'll be destroying those guys quite quickly. Stormtroopers moving over onto the north side of the map as the double Dark Warriors come out and almost get squad wipe on these Sisters, but these ladies, well, lady, no need for plural, is going to go back to lick her wounds, so to speak. The Canoness in quick fruition. Don't have a tank trap here. No tanks to trap, but it's nice. And yeah, this is just a light show, baby. This is all sorts of shenanigans as these elite troopers move on forward. We're going to get close by the combined arms of Dark Eldar and elite troopers alike. They will try and take care of this listing post, but good lord, that Canoness was taking a fair bit of damage to the old Ceramite. That is assuming that Sisters' power armor is built from the same material as Space Marine armor. I'm not entirely sure. I know they're not augmented in the same way as Space Marines due to their... I don't think they've got any like genetic modifications, have they? They're just ladies with like power armor that's been like built for the wearing of humans. Maybe. Who knows? Either way, it's all bonkers. But yeah, we've got quite a strong opening force from the Lowlands team. I mean, these guys are basically purpose-built for destroying infantry. Not so much against heavy infantry, but they do have options when the Librarians and when the planetary raids and homunculus laboratories are built up. So that is certainly a thing. Fleet on fire as well keeps the warriors moving as quick as you like. This listing post has been decapped, so the Chaos are going to be lacking and soaring in the old economic department. Also, the south side and the north side has been captured as well. So the Highlands team have got to really start pushing out at the moment. Do have one heavy bolter gun, not turret, definitely a gun. Also for a grenade over there as well. The Chaos Marines full of vim and vigour, lots of help on these guys. Can kind of stand up against all this damage, especially for the grenades that are coming in. Once they get their big weapons online, not too bad, not too shabby. But yeah, this is just... what a wonderful little firefight going on here. I mean, it's still too much for the Chaos Space Marines to deal with. We do have some... well, we've got some more grenades from the Seraphins adding to support. Also got cultists going for some grenade launches as well. But Archon standing in the middle, unwavering in his desire to capture more slaves for Kamara. The priest's social standing amongst the cabal of nastiness back at home. Missionary going to be killed, no doubt. Archon getting involved, but very much the definition of a glass cannon. Does a lot of damage, has a lot of utility as well. But no Incubi boys to join him. Seraphins being chased away. And Chaos are really kind of just being the backbone at the moment, just preventing these guys from pushing any further forward. We do have Tier 2 going for the Imperial Inquisition Demon Hunters. God, their name is impossible to say. No Tier 2 for the Dark Eldar as of yet. Must say though that these grenades are really adding to the DPS of the Chaos Space Marines. Getting a good break in the morale as well. It's what you want. And the addition of this heavy bolter is... I mean, look at these guys. These are a full squad, and now they don't really have a full squad. Sad time for them. These guys are falling back. And it does look like the Chaos player has managed to secure, single-handedly more or less, the centre plane here. But there we go. We've got more Seraphins on the way. Going to continue pushing the forces of the Dark Eldar and the Imperium back. But still not enough for them at the moment. But they're at least keeping them occupied for a little while the Chaos Space Marines reposition themselves. Got this icon of purification going to be upgraded. I want to destroy it before it gets upgraded. There we go. Going to be taking that down. Imagine they will also want to turn their attention to deny the economy of the south sides. I want to look at the economies, but I daren't look away in case anything cool happens. Do an economy check later. We'll just assume that the Dark Eldar Inquisition Demon Hunters got a better economy, because of course they have. There we go, falling back in a defensive position behind this Tower of Loathing. Oh, there we go, now we can check the economy. So 108 and 30 and 120 compared to 125 and 30 and 119 and 30. I think checking economies in multiplayer games is nigh impossible. I've no idea who I'm looking at half the time. But yeah, so the centre's been taken. Tower of Loathing is going to be slowly but surely destroyed. These guys, what can they do in response? Tier 2 going for the Dark Eldar. We've only got Tier 2 for these dudes. Going to go for a Razorback Transport. Nice touch. Got their Librarian online, so I assume they're going for some big weapons. Well, no big weapons at the moment, but there will be incoming. And dear oh dear, the citizens have found a good chunk of economy from the Dark Eldar. Activating their Angelic Visage, going to increase the amount of damage they do. Popping down Dark Foundry, cancelling it just at the last moment. Yes, the Monkey's Laboratory will be annihilated as well. Real shame for the Dark Eldar player at the moment. Has gone for his Tier 2 though, as you can tell by the disco lights on the Dark Eldar building. Cultists and Heretic Astartes alike moving over to this side to recapture the northern side. One Razorback Transport manoeuvring around, replete with golden symbols and iconography. But to once again use that higher ground. Oh no, it's not quite within range. Oh dear. Oh, because there's a flammable weapon, that's why. Well, still, they're taking it fairly well. Like being at front row Rammstein concert. You feel the heat on your face. Lots of plasma guns going for these guys. Still being done in by the grenades, but if they can weather the storm of these grenades, they should be able to do a good chunk of damage against the Chaos. And in fact, they even do fall back as these Inferno pistols I just fired at wild, random, gay abandon towards everything and anything. Second Razorback on the way as well. So I imagine for the Demon Hunters, it's just a case of keeping your elite stormtroopers, get them as many plasma guns as possible, use their Razorback transports. I imagine what they'll probably want to do is keep these guys in the Razorback transports, and when the grenades are start thrown at them, you pop them in the Razorback, wait for the explosion to finish, then pop them back out. We require an intense amount of micro. Got a radar on the way, and there we go, some fast attacking. They could both focus onto one player at a time. Now, they'll be able to do a good chunk of damage. The 2 vs 1 is always a lot easier than anything else. But yeah, this raider being surrounded by yellowing fire. It looks like the sisters are taking a taste of their own medicine, so to speak. Battle sisters known for the love of fire, also now being torched and scorched. These Razorbacks in the mix. Not sure, are you good against buildings? Not necessarily good against buildings, but I mean, they're still doing stuff. Raider over here going to be pestering these cultists. And does the Raider have... Ah yes, the Raider has some Drukhari warriors inside as well. Allowing them to be useful against infantry as well as buildings and vehicles. Without that infantry supplement, they're not exactly ideal against anything other than vehicles and buildings. These Razorbacks just not going down without a fight. Got Inferno pistols in the mix, but these guys seem to be holding their own. Chaos people having to chase after these raiders, and while they might not be doing that much economic damage, they're at least keeping these guys inside the base, allowing them to rebuild and regrow some of the things that they have lost, expanding all the way. More Razorback transports. In fact, this is the spam going on here. Mandrake's also going to move in for supporting reasons. The Razorbacks down here are finally taken care of. Ecclesiarchal Servitors will be rebuilding and repatching anything that has been damaged. Ghost of Celestians as well for Titan and vehicle dispatchment. Coloness over here being dark lanced by a radar. Radar? Yeah, the momentum is still on the Lowlands team, I do believe. I mean, yeah, these guys are coming back out of their base. But, I mean, with all these plasma guns, Chaos won't survive for very long against them. Sisters are probably... I mean, what are you? Are you heavy infantry? They're all heavy infantry, so they'll still suffer just as much as the Chaos. Razorbacks taking a lot of damage, tanking the listing post, but to be fair, this is a lot of Inferno pistols. We're being equipped with metal guns as well. Angelic Visage increasing their overall damage as well. Yeah, this is actually, unless these guys vamoose anytime soon, they're not going to have a army left. Razorback's not really used to get these guys in and out of combat, which is not ideal. But then again, they weren't used so much for transporting, like we say. They were mainly for being a nuisance. Double scourges, which, so long as these guys can keep away from close combat, they should be alright. In saying that, though, the Seraphins are going to jump straight on top of them, getting into close shooting range. The Dark Reapers aren't... Oh, there we go. They're going to throw a flashbang of some description. Havoc Marines as well, armed with their missile launchers. So now these guys have got a good answer to any vehicle plays that the Lowlands team can make. Just going to try and use their mobility from the Raiders to get around. Now, I really like this. You don't see this enough in games. Like I've said many a time, you get this tunnel vision of, the enemy's army is here, I've got to go here and fight them. You don't need to. Go around the side, be a bit cheeky, be a bit brash, bold and brave. Get those flanking manoeuvres in. I mean, but at least decide where to go, right? You know, I mean, that was quite a wild and crazy journey that Raider went on. And it's a bit of a stalemate in the middle now. What's going on for the economies? It's 138 and 79, 121 and 39, 104 and 60, 180 and 82. So yeah, the economy for the Demon Hunters, as you would expect, does get better. I mean, essentially, these guys just infinitely scale their economy. The longer their game goes on, the more economy a Demon Hunters player has, unless you constantly attack them. Get their economy from the urban territories as well, so the larger population they have, the more economy that they usually have. The actual mechanics is a bit more nuanced than that, but who needs economic lessons in this day and age? Kenneth using a blinding light to bedazzle these scourges, allowing these dudes to get in within missile launcher range. Remind you, every single one of these is either a missile launcher or a heavy bolter. But Jesus, this is a significant amount. Ah, there we go. Dark Eldar breaking their morale, forcing them to reduce the amount of damage that they could do. These guys will fall back just a little bit, giving the Dark Eldar a little bit of breathing room to set up his defenses. But what's he going to do against these guys? I imagine, would it be some more scourges? I mean, that's not a terrible idea. Soul Seeker ammunition research. That will increase their overall DPS quite significantly. And these guys can kill lots of things. It takes a small amount of destruction to stop them in their tracks. And they're not nearly as tanky as the Havoc Marines. So be very careful with that. Got some Grey Knights. I know there's some Grey Knights somewhere here. Ready to teleport in. Oh, that'll be the plan. Scourge moving in. Oh, maybe not. Are these Purgators? No, the strike teams. You know, just teleport in? Well, we shall find out as the engagement carries on. Adeptus Sororitas people dudes jumping in the mix. Scourges jumping backwards. Northern Malleus Supreme Lord charging straight in. Grey Knights going around the backside, keeping these guys on the move. That's what we want, keeping the Havocs in the constant transitions, allowing the Scourges to fire. But then again, in saying that, the Seraphins are doing the same for the Scourges, so no one's really getting the proper engagements that they want off. Celestians in the middle being allowed to just continuously fire. But these Grey Knights are not something to trifle with. These will probably more or less dominate this side of the battlefield. Scourges falling back. And a Dreadnought has been popped down. I imagine that we'll be seeing lots of Dreadnoughts coming in. A Talos joining the field as well. Potentially we might see him do something useful. Already losing half its health though. Dear oh dear, even in Ultimate Apocalypse where everything is built to be strong and OP, still fragile as you like, but it's still a cool looking model regardless. Grey Knights, even with the icon bearers that help the Chaos Space Marines regenerate their health, even then the Grey Knights are showing them the business. And yeah, it's just a charge all the way back into space. No, just when the Chaos Marines were thinking about stabilizing, Dark Eldar uses their morale breaking ability, global ability, to make them scared and stuff. Good tactic. Chaos Lord on his way out. Got a similar Chaos research as well, just for good measure. Plasma generators being destroyed left, right, and centre. But now the Havoc Marines have got a little bit of breathing room as these guys are trying to focus taking down the economy, so these guys will be able to open up a whole salvo against these Seraphins. Grey Knights teleporting away back down over onto the lowlands as their models are running low. Talos still alive, very impressed as it moves over into the base before turning around and dying. Lasted longer than expected though, so we'll take it. Got the Chaos Dreadnought, in fact double Chaos Dreadnoughts. Both going to be equipped with some twin-linked las cannons. Probably in answer and response to the Grey Knights Dreadnoughts. And all of a sudden, with very little effort, it seems like the Chaos and Sisters of Battle have got back into this battle. It looks like they were on a serious back foot there, but now they're going to go in. Bit of a mixed message going on there. Seraphins were jumping in, but the Havocs were falling back. Chaos Dreadnoughts also charging in. Dear oh dear. Grey Knights teleported smack bang in the middle as the morale has been broken for the entirety of the Highlanders army. Chaos Dreadnoughts though, keeping these guys at bay. Allowing these guys to just turn around and focus as much as they can on the Grey Knight Interceptors. And although they can type 1 or 2 Havoc squads, leaving the rest of them alone, yeah, the Grey Knights are going to go down pretty quickly. Dear oh dear. I've been teleported back over here. The Scourge now going to use their impressive Dark Lance range to kind of poke these guys backwards. Anything else crazy coming from the base at the moment? Oh no, we don't have time, as the Seraphins are jumping in once more to get involved. Grey Knight Interceptors not liking these ladies invading their personal space. Gonna send them back home. Rhino transport trundling along on a Sunday drive. Chaos Dreadnought forgetting where he was for a moment. Although then again, I imagine that he's quite happy with that result. All Chaos Dreadnoughts, as far as I'm aware, are really keen on not existing anymore. And I don't blame them, really. Don't blame them at all. Plasma generators for Phoenix going to be replaced. We have not much really being built. We've got tier 2, which in normal speak is tier 3. Double Talos. Here we go. Look at these guys. Gonna destroy that Rhino. They are... One dies. That's cool. And, do you die as well? Possibly. No, he survives. There we go, with 3 health remaining. Look at that. Maybe next time when he jumps in, he'll be able to hit something. That'd be quite interesting to see. Don't think we've featured a Telos kill animation yet on this channel. Over here we have got... What have we got? We've got these Chaos Cultists. Been given some old shafting by the Grey Knight Interceptors. Long lances, psychic powers, not a cup of tea that the cultists want to have for their evening meal. Chaos Havocs though are going to join in the fray, firing missiles and heavy bolter weapons alike. These guys have been chained down there. Their shock and chagrin forcing them to engage in ranged combat. Rather be broken for all these guys there. And all this madness and badness, it's like, good lord in heaven. But they do manage to get it. They do manage to get the killings and whatnot. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Go animation. Go, go, go. Yeah. Look at that. Amazing stuff. Leading the charge. Powerful Scorpio. Truly just goes to show that Scorpios are the best star sign. Not that I know anything about star signs other than I'm a Scorpio and I was born in the year of the sheep. In Chinese years. I don't know. Let me know what your star sign is down in the comments below. Scourges, they're doing things. They're firing at all these ladies, but they're being less than bothered. I don't think these Scourges have really made all that much of a huge impact in this game, in all honesty. I mean, it's not like the Trueborn that we saw in the game the other day. I mean, those Trueborn were absolutely mincing and mashing all of their opponents. And Grey Knights, yeah, they're able to charge in and distract everyone, but they don't seem to have that killing power. These Chaos Havoc Marines and the Seraphins just seem to be alive for a lot longer than necessary from the perspective of the Dark Eldar and Inquisition. These Scourges kind of just not wanting to die, but not wanting to leave neither. They're just in shell-shocked chagrin. Dear oh dear, this is quite a sizable force in the middle. And what do the Eldar have to... I mean, they're going to go for tier 3, which is a thing. Colt is going to go down on this side. How many guys have you got saved up? You've got... Oh, you don't have anything to deep strike or teleport in. So this is actually quite a disastrous moment. No Pegasus minefield being dropped down by this Rhino transport. Has been destroyed, but they have popped down the mine, so that is one job done. Plasma generator feeling a bit sad as it dies. Blue Man 52 getting his relic unit out, so what relic unit is that, I wonder? not great at Terminators. What do you mean by you're getting a relic unit out? Oh, Storm Raven Fury. Okay, well, Storm Raven Fury might be able to tip the tide so long as the Dark Eldar can survive for just a little bit longer. It's take a long while to build, so yeah, it is certainly something. Seraphim's jumping over the ridge. Lots of badness and sadness for the Dark Eldar here. Killing all these Scourges as quickly as you like. Use of grenades being constantly activated. We do have a Pillar of the World End. Amazing little ability from Phoenix. I mean, it's just basically just... I mean, look, it's like the Rapture, but like not. Ascending to the mortal, or so the immortal planes of chaos. But it looks pretty at the very least, if not ominous. Anyway, Dark Eldar player looks like he's going to be piecing out sometime soon. After all, this Storm Raven Fury is not anywhere to be seen. Little Man 52 throws on GG, sees the writing on the wall. There is more chaos coming on here as well. Good Lord of mercy on my soul. It's just pure madness here. But yeah, the fellow GG, so that's essentially the game. So we'll call it there. So the team of the high ground win after a good, decent backwards and forwards match day. It was anyone's game until maybe our last encounter. Of course, if you want to support the channel, it's the good old £1 a month, gets you one extra game a week on the old Patreon. My name's been Mr. Lunchshark, pleasure as always, never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace!